right, that the Coach's Corner brought to you by Corona. Rebecca Harlow, as always, on the sidelines tonight. What do you have?
Mike and Mike, everyone is still buzzing about that 4-1 road trip, best road record since 2002-2003 for a 5-game stretch. We're going to check out just how good that actually is. If you look at these numbers at home compared to on the road, these numbers are very close. I asked Kevin Pritchard what this means to him, and he said, you know what, it means we're learning how to play on the road. And he said the best part about it is this gives us a cushion. All these upcoming home games really give us an opportunity to work on that record, and those road games have been exactly what this team has needed.
Well, at the same time, as Rebecca says, Coach Rice, you also, it puts added importance on games like this because you work so hard to get that cushion. You don't want to let it slip on the first game back home against a team like Orlando.
All you have to do is look at the Lakers, the Cleveland Cavs, you know, the teams that are very, very good. Boston Celtics, they don't lose probably more than 3 or 4 at home. So if you want to stay in that company, you got to do the same thing. Protect your home court. Well,
these teams, of course, met on November 10th in Orlando. A kind of an odd game in that Joel Presbill, of course, Greg Oden wasn't playing in that ball game. He returned two games later at 2 days later, I should say, at Miami. There's Howard down low, fouled by Oden. And I was just going to say, in that first game, Joel Presbilla picked up 2 very quick fouls. Went to the bench and really wasn't a factor in the ballgame at all as Portland went small the entire second half. Channing Frye played a big role, and the Blazers got the win despite the fact that Howard got his numbers.
Yeah, and, you know, they just didn't go once the Blazers got into foul trouble that game in Orlando. Orlando didn't take advantage of it. They should have been up like 20 points in the first half, and they weren't. They let the Blazers off the hook, and then the Blazers with the smaller lineup just shot tremendously well outside, especially Travis Outlaw and Blake and Rudy, those 3.
And that was one of the rare games where Portland was out rebounded. Of course, lately, Portland's been killing teams on the backboards. As 1 of 2 for Howard. That's the one thing he doesn't do real well is shoot free throws.
Yeah, and that's why they're the worst foul shooting team in the NBA, because of him. They get to the line.
They lob to Batum. He's knocked down from behind by Rashard Lewis. Hit in the back, knocked to the floor. We go the other way.
Boy, I tell you what, they missed that. They missed that call. They went right under.
Did you see the push by Lewis?
Sure.
As Howard controls out top. Well, you didn't get any calls on the road. We talked about that. You're not going to get them at home. And the Blazers have always played well through that. As Howard holding against Aldridge this time. Howard hop step travel with the ball. Jack Nees had a block call as we go the other way.
Well, Nate won't get on the referees early. He's yelling to his team, and he knows they missed one, but he knows Jack Nees knows he missed it also. So you don't have to tell him that. That was pretty obvious.
Aldridge inside, tangled up momentarily with Rashard Lewis. Aldridge was big in that Toronto game. He misses the shot there. Lewis blocked it. As we mentioned, Howard averages over 4 blocks a game. Jameer Nelson inside, drops to Howard, and he hooks it in with the right.
Jameer Nelson will start the ball game penetrating. He doesn't look for his 3-point shooters early. He looks for the big guy, Dwight Howard.
Roy hit. And Michael Smith out near the top with the foul call, so free throws coming for Brandon Roy. In that first game against Orlando, Roy was very good. As you see, Mark Wunderlich, Jack Nees, and Michael Smith. Roy had 27 points in that game against the Magic in Orlando. Of course, Travis Outlaw was the other player who had 20 points for Portland. They gave that foul to Hito Turco.
It sure looked like the big guy was the one that whacked him. You know, you mentioned earlier that Dwight Howard has 2 straight games of 20-20s.
Yeah.
Well, the last 5 games, he is averaging 19 rebounds a game. He leads the NBA in that category with 14. But he has really been a monster. Whether he's shooting in the paint or getting to the foul line in the paint, he's just doing a great job.
Nelson, they go under the pick on him. Rashard Lewis really struggled in that first game shooting. You know it's not going to continue, and he knocks down a 3 there. As Rashard Lewis was 0 for 5 in that first meeting from behind the arc, ended with just 6 points. Blake back to Batum. They want to go inside, and Howard swipes it away.
That was not a good pass.
And Batum not quite set in front of Turkoglu. Tried to draw the offensive foul. It goes against Portland. And the Blazers out of the box here. A little sluggish. The only thing that would have given Batum the foul is the fact that Turkoglu's
arm went out. The left arm went out. And sometimes when that happens, and you're playing at home, but the underneath man called it, Michael Smith. He had the worst view of it.
And Howard again hooks it in inside. So the Trailblazers have been getting off to good starts as of late, not in Toronto, but in the other games. But in this game, it's the Magic off to the great start. And the Trailblazers find themselves in unfamiliar waters here at home, trailing by 7. Oden going to try and go against Howard. Howard slaps down his arm, knocks it away, got mostly ball out of bounds. 5 to shoot for Portland.
And that's what I think Greg should do, dribble all his moves. Don't try to do it without the dribble, and that way your feet don't get tangled.
Again, 5 to shoot. Here's Roy. Nice move on Bogans. Missed that long. Rebound Oden over Howard. Howard gives him the dunk inside. Just conceded it and backed away.
Yeah, he does not want to get in foul trouble. That's the only thing that stops this Orlando team is when Dwight Howard gets into foul trouble.
And Jameer Nelson, as Blake got kicked off.
They're so
Nelson went right to the rim and scored.
Yeah, they're so concerned with Dwight Howard, they didn't help out on Jameer Nelson. Bogans probably their best defender on the perimeter, checking Roy.
Roy gets some space around Bogans. Foul. Would have scored the bucket. No, they would not have. So it's not going to be free throws. Jack Neese with the call up top. Foul's going to be on Bogans. Of course, in that first meeting, Michael Petrus got the early assignment on Roy as Bogans came off the bench, and Roy really had his way with Petrus early in that ball game, and Bogans was called upon to help out. But again, Roy still had 27 points and a nice night. Blake, an open 3 from the angle is long. Rebound Batum with those long arms and a new shot clock. Blazers have been doing a great job on the offensive glass, and of course rebounds total. Nice pass, Aldridge from Blake.
Yeah, now they're getting into the flow a little bit better. They started out a little timid, not aggressive at all. They were letting Orlando take it to them. They weren't taking it to them on the other end.
Magic haven't missed a shot yet. 4 for 4. Turkoglu. Jameer Nelson wouldn't take the long one. Instead gives it up to Bogans for a 3 that's off the back iron. Howard and Aldridge go up, and Howard can't control. Boy, Aldridge and Howard both were way up. Now look at Nate McMillan waving his team and saying go, go, as he knows he's got the Magic on the second of a back-to-back, that L.A.-Portland back-to-back, which is always a late one.
Yeah, this game will be won in the fourth quarter, not the first quarter.
Roy around a pick from Oden. They get the switch they want. Oden's inside with Bogans on it. Instead, they go Aldridge outside, and that's up and over and out. Here's the Aldridge dunk a moment ago as Lewis overplayed. Aldridge kind of went back door and got the slam. And again, Dwight Howard conceding a couple of dunks inside that he didn't have a chance at, that he knew he'd just pick up a foul. It's smart.
Well, he knows about dunks. He leads the NBA in dunks. So he's had a few himself.
Nice job by Batum to keep that ball out of the hands of Turkoglu by just denying him playing good defense. Howard goes glass over Oden, and Roy grabs the rebound, nearly bumped off it by Oden.
Yeah, Howard still doesn't have that real soft touch from 8-10 feet.
High pick and roll again, Roy and Oden. Aldridge turns, down goes Lewis. LaMarcus flips it up and in as Lewis went down trying to draw the offensive foul. And Aldridge looked kind of surprised and flipped in his second field goal as Blake hit in the backcourt by a pick by Rashard Lewis. I don't think it was dirty. Crowd thought so.
No, he was
Batum has got to let his teammate know about it.
Yeah. What they did well is recover in time to not give them an easy 5-on-4.
Turkoglu trying to back down on Blake. And a foul on Steve Blake. Take a look at the pick we were just talking about. Here comes Lewis.
He did bring his arm up a little bit. Now they can call that. Now it wasn't called. It's early in the game.
As long as you don't extend the arm. And Steve just didn't see it, and again, teammate didn't let him know. Here's Lewis out top. Howard gets deep position on Oden and flips it over him this time.
See, and that's what they do. They run people off of Dwight Howard, and if the big guy steps out to help out, he seals really well with that big body.
Blake in the corner, Batum baseline, hand to Oden. Blazers tentative. Oden to skip pass, that's intercepted. Jameer Nelson against Blake. Misses the lay-in, rebound Aldridge. Portland now a chance to run back, 3-on-2. Roy, Batum, step back, 3 on second thought, and it's off the mark, and the rebound claimed by Lewis.
Yeah, he tried to shoot that a little quick. He wanted to get that first shot up. I think he could have gone to the rim.
As Nicholas about 40% from behind the arc. Here's Nelson, that's off the mark. Rebound Roy. So Orlando now 5 for 9. Portland is 3 for 8 shooting. Roy top of the key. That rattles home.
It is really going to be a physical game for the guards because the big guys on both teams are setting the high pick at the top of the key. And I mean, they're really hitting the guards. So guys like Blake and Jameer Nelson, they're going to get hit all night long. Anybody that plays that point guard spot. Watch Blake right now.
He tries to work around the pick. They switch on it. Now Oden gets back. Lewis another 3. This one off, but Dwight Howard, the offensive board, takes it to Oden, and another one down. A nice move with a left hand, and Greg was there that time. But Howard, 9 early points for the Magic.
Yeah, they're going to have to give the big guy a little help in there.
Roy a deep 2. That's long. Rebound Jameer Nelson. And out come the Magic. Howard on the fast break. Batum flies into the air. Blazers trying to stop the break and do. And Dwight Howard spiked the ball in the corner, which at one time would get you a technical foul in the NBA.
I hope they're not talking about a flagrant foul here.
It's on Batum. Batum's trying to take it anyway. He was the one who went airborne. And let's see what they're calling. Nothing. Timeout on the floor. Stan Van Gundy wants an explanation. Foul's going to be on Batum, they're saying. 5:12 left. First quarter. We'll sort it out when we come back.
This February, the biggest basketball event in the world is headed to the city of Phoenix. 2009 NBA All-Star Balloting presented by T-Mobile allows you to vote for your favorite NBA players. Log on to NBA.com and cast your vote. Also vote on your mobile phone at WAP.NBA.com or on your T-Mobile phone via T-Zones. Vote now and vote often, and you could win a trip for 2 to Phoenix in the NBA 2K9 sweepstakes. The 2009 NBA All-Star Game live from Phoenix, Arizona, February 15th, only on TNT.
Here in Portland, 5:12 left in the first. They initially called that foul on Batum. They've changed it to Steve Blake. But we'll sort that out in a moment here. Well, kids, we have 2 good hoops camps coming up over the holidays. You have to check out. First up, the Trailblazers Shooting Hoops Camp on December 13th. That's with Nicholas Batum. And then, we're keeping you up, the Holiday Hoops Camp on December 20th and 26th with Joel Presbilla and Sergio Rodriguez. All campers get 2 tickets to a game, a camp jersey, and a Trailblazers keepsake. Register now at trailblazers.com/makeitbetter. So subs in for Portland now. Joel Presbilla in for Greg Oden. Travis Outlaw for Batum. And Blake, despite the fact that he's picked up a second foul, will stay in the game for now.
That's interesting. I hope Nate knows that that was the second foul because originally they didn't call it on him. and they're going to have to check that out. Blazers 0 for 2 from the three-point line. We said that'll be very interesting because 6 of the last 8 games the Blazers have shot over 40%.
Now Howard against Presbilla on the right side. Shot clock down to 8. Howard wants a re-entry pass. Tries to establish. Presbilla forces him out, and that's just fine with Portland if Howard wants to shoot out there.
Anytime that he wants to, he's getting better at that bank jumper, but he's not dunking yet. That's for sure.
So Blake for now in there with 2 fouls, but Sergio's going to replace him next dead. Roy takes Bogans deep and just misses that short little shot that we're so accustomed to seeing go in.
They don't double. They'll let them play them straight all the way around. They've got 2 6'10" forwards.
Tony Battie in as well for Orlando now as Nelson misses the 3. That's the only switch the Magic made during the timeout. Outlaw gets a big pick from Presbilla. And here's Aldridge. Shot clock down to 10. LaMarcus a deep 2, and that is good. As Aldridge has turned up his shooting game the last couple, he was terrific in Toronto on Sunday.
He sure was. And in Detroit with the 27 points, he had high over 50% shooting.
Ball knocked away by Aldridge. The entry pass intended for Howard. Right side is Brandon Roy. Thought about dunking and then recoiled and just flipped it in.
Yeah, now the Blazers are pressuring out a little bit, trying to take away that high pick and roll that Howard set so well.
And as McMillan told us in the pregame show, they're going to give it lots of different looks defensively and switch it up timeout to timeout oftentimes. Jameer Nelson long 2 is down. And so a 3-point lead for the Magic again.
When they went undefeated his senior year at St. Joe, he was not a good outside shooter, but he really has improved his outside shot.
Roy step through move around Bogans, and Aldridge has it out top. Now Blake, shot clock at 10. LaMarcus again from the outside. This one off the mark. The rebound, Turkoglu for the Magic. Trailblazers 6 of 14 shooting, 43% here early. Turkoglu, the foul going to be on Travis Outlaw. And now Sergio Rodriguez will check in for Steve Blake. And this is the break a moment ago. Blake, the pass to Brandon Roy. And if you thought Jameer Nelson was trying to attack a moment ago, wait till you see him now when he sees Sergio Rodriguez come in.
Yeah, and
as Courtney Lee, the rookie, will check in for the Magic.
Jameer Nelson is a very physical, strong player. His senior year, he was the Naismith winner, the best guard in the NCAA when St. Joe went 27-0. So he has physical strength. Sergio will really have to fight that.
Now that smaller unit that moves Outlaw to the 4 as Aldridge comes out and Rudy Fernandez checks in. So Fernandez now will play the 2, and Brandon Roy will move to the small forward spot. We haven't seen a lot of this lineup. We saw it a little bit on Sunday.
Yeah, well, Roy now is moved up to number 3 in total minutes for guard, so he's playing a lot of minutes, and this is why he comes in with Sergio, and he plays the 2 or the 3, depending where Rudy plays.
He's got a rookie on him right now in Courtney Lee. Should be an easy win for Roy. Howard comes over to affect the shot by Roy. Now here's Turkoglu in transition. Travis Outlaw slides out of the way, and Turkoglu dunks with the right hand.
Yeah, you've got to get in there and help because they got Petit in there now at 6'11", 7 foot. You got Howard. Of course, Turkoglu is 6'10", 6'11". Big team.
Outlaw stop and go move on Petit. That is long. Hit the glass first. Rebound picked up by Nelson. And Orlando gets another run. Ball knocked away, but right to Howard. Presbilla blocks it. Fernandez saves to Presbilla. Now Sergio in the open floor. Finds an open Outlaw. Wouldn't settle for the 3. And he hits in his foul on the baseline. Good adjustment by Outlaw. And a great block shot by Joel Presbilla, who blocked it on Howard, who was off balance. And Howard complaining to Mark Wonderland as we head to the timeout. Magic by 5.
to be here. I'm looking forward to playing in Boston, having fun, man. We need to establish who we are. We're learning some things, just very small things. Little small things like that add up. And that's big when you're trying to win a ring here. That's the motivation. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. It's what it is. We got to win. And we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up. Take it one game at a time. See, like every night I have a responsibility to stay physical, stay aggressive. And I can't be as good as I am unless I help the group, the team, every day. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together. Tonight we played great basketball as a good team. You know, we're connected. We kept our composure. We made the sacrifices, and it's helping. It's working. It's working for us. And if we can get through this, then, you know, it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. You know, it's for us to win, man. Just what we got to do to close this thing out. What you gonna say now? What can you say now?
Back here at the Rose Garden in Portland, Magic got off to a good start, and they lead at 20-15. As we take you to the Aflac trivia question tonight, as Mike Rice doesn't even hear me, his headset. Now you're rejoining us on the telecast. Thanks.
It's still not good.
Aflac trivia question. What Trailblazer lists former Blazer Scottie Pippen as his favorite NBA player?
Oh.
So give that some thought.
Sure. And my headset sounds much better now.
Is it fitting better, though?
Well,
because I know you had it off during the timeout.
You know, I don't want it to mess up my hair.
We pull back the curtain if this is your first Trailblazers broadcast. Channing Frye in the game for Portland. As again, Blazers just 7 for 17 shooting, 41% to start this ball game. As Dwight Howard steps out of the ball game, Anthony Johnson is in, and now they go a little smaller. Tony Battie was in there; he stays in there. Richard Lewis now will play a little bit of the 4 spot. Ito Turkoglu the 3, and Travis Outlaw completes a big 3-point play.
Yeah, last night against the Clippers, Orlando had a 10-point lead. They took Howard out, and Clips made about a 16-2 run. And they had to get Howard back in there a lot quicker than they wanted to. So let's hope that Howard gets a little tired. But looking at his body, I don't think he ever gets tired.
Blazers are in the penalty, by the way, as Channing Frye playing very aggressive defensively. Foul's going to be on Channing Frye. It was not on Prisbilla, who was there protecting the hoop. And this will be free throws for Richard Lewis, of course, who played under Nate McMillan in Seattle, and he ran over and said hello to Nate right after the starting lineups and right before the opening tip.
Well, he should have, because he's making about $12 million a year because of Nate. Nate let him go out and play the number 3 spot, and he developed an outside shot under Nate McMillan. And I'd come over and thank Nate too.
And he makes a pair here as Lewis about 82% at the line, averaging 19 points so far on the season. Rudy Fernandez running off a pick. He's got that motor. Nice drop pass. Prisbilla with a good catch on a tough pass. It was a good pass, but it was a tough one to handle.
Yeah, I give Joel a lot of credit. That ball hit the ground and went straight up, and Joel had nice hands.
Deep position inside is Battie, who just walked Outlaw down low and turned and got the ball.
And Nate is yelling at Travis to get position. Don't let him get in there so easy.
Sergio turns the corner, gets help from a Prisbilla pick, and Joel tips that in. I don't know if he touched it or not. If he did, he didn't.
Yeah, he touched it.
They gave him the hoops.
Yeah.
Outlaw trying to force Turkoglu baseline. Battie, top of the key jumper. And Tony Battie can shoot from the outside, and he's shooting it well this season at 60%.
Turkoglu does what he doesn't do early in his career. He can dribble now. He handles the ball well, and he can penetrate. He's been shooting terrible the last 4 games, 28%, 38% on 2-pointers in the year. So
he's only 31% on 3s for the year.
Yeah.
Outlaw, much better than that in the corner, and he hits again. He's over 50%. That's good enough for 3rd best in the NBA.
Yeah, 50%, and Outlaw shoots 38% from 2s. So that, you wonder something that's really weird.
Battie inside, fouled on the floor by Outlaw, and Joel Prisbilla bringing his defense together and shouting some instructions. But here is the Rudy pass to Prisbilla a moment ago.
Yeah, now watch how hard he hits it on the ground and way up.
But it hit Joel in exactly the right spot.
Yeah, you know, if you think about it, it's probably the best place to hit a big guy. He doesn't have to bring the ball from below his waist up. The ball is already above his head.
And it's already on its way up.
Sure.
Joel just kind of slowed it down. It's Petit to shoot free throws. Petit 58% is all from the foul line, but looked much better than that after that first one.
Well, he was injured so much. He was 2 years ago the guy that was going to really carry them. And his left shoulder went out, and he spent the whole year on IR because of his shoulder injury. And he was always a good role player with Denver, Boston, the Cavs, now Orlando.
Shot clock is off. As the Magic winners last night in LA against the Clippers, trying to make it back-to-back to start a 5-game road trip. Of course, Blazers just got back from a 4-1 5-game road trip. Lob to Rudy, and he jams. Sergio Sign running baseline, and there is a look at the Spanish connection. 3 seconds. Anthony Johnson to the corner. Petit for 3, long 2, and he hit it just inside the 3-point line. So that takes a little of the excitement out of the crowd after that Sergio to Rudy alley-oop. As the Trailblazers trying to buck that trend of struggling in your first game back home following a long trip. Magic up 4 after quarter number 1.
Barkley, you're here to answer for possible violations as an analyst for the NBA on TNT. Now, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes, I'm 1,000% innocent.
Well, is that so? Upon being asked about the team defense of my beloved Dallas Mavericks, did you not say, and I quote, "My mother could score 30 points on those guys"?
No, I said my grandmother could score 30. My mother would drop 45 on them.
There'll be order. We'll have order here.
The NBA season is here. You can get all the action and excitement with NBA League Pass. This is your complete season pass. Order now and get the best games, countless moments, and lasting memories for only $189. See the top stars and your favorite teams wherever you live all season long. And watch games online with NBA League Pass broadband, which is included with your subscription. Get NBA League Pass now for just $189. To order, call now.
Forward to playing in Boston, having fun. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up, take it one game at a time. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. It's for us to win, man. Just what we got to do to close this thing out. What you gonna say now? What can you say now?
This is some game. The Lakers are mounting a furious comeback.
Here we go, fourth quarter. It's watching the clock.
Off the bench for Orlando. They shoot 58% in quarter number 1, and they've got the lead by 4. Fans, help us honor our rich heritage at 2 upcoming number 30 jersey retirement nights. December 16th, the retired Terry Porter's jersey. Bobby Gross will go up December 18th against the Suns. Tickets still available for both games. Call 503-797-9600 or visit trailblazers.com, as Portland will stay in with the same unit. Sergio to Rudy Fernandez, team scouted. They know it's coming, but it's hard to stay with Fernandez being as active as he is.
Yeah, and they set that play up so well.
As we go down to Rebecca Harlow.
Well, guys, Nate McMillan in that last timeout said every time you make a bucket, you're celebrating versus getting back on defense. This team is making layup after layup, and you guys have to get in front of these guys and focus on the defensive end.
Channing Frye's pass for Joel Presbilla, intended for Joel Presbilla, broken up. And Courtney Lee with a runner off the glass. Not sure what that was. What was he attempting there? A bank shot, but it was well off the mark.
Well, he didn't.
Brian Cook is in, by the way.
Yeah, Brian Cook can go outside. He's very much like Channing Frye, that he goes outside. He'd much rather play outside than inside.
Sergio trying to work with Channing Frye. Shot clock, though, already down to 5. Sergio passed Cook. Cook kind of let him have it. Sergio missed the lay-in, but expected a block as the Blazers again lazy getting back on defense. Travis Outlaw went for the steal at midcourt. The rest of the guys kind of jogging back, and Orlando beats him up the floor. These are the kind of things you see when you're playing the first game after a long trip. And we've talked about that too much already, but you still see signs of it.
Sure, and
Rudy for 3. Ground and out. Rebound inside by Battie, who's been terrific off the bench for the Magic.
Anthony Johnson's another one that hasn't shot the ball well, and they call him carrying on him right now. But it's the second unit of the Blazers. Now they leave Richard Lewis in to make sure they have a score, and Lee really has improved for a rookie. He started off the season very non-aggressive. Now he really goes after it a lot more.
Rodriguez back to Outlaw. Travis takes a long 2 and hits. So Outlaw with 8 points off the bench in just 7 minutes. Good run for Travis so far.
Yeah, Richard Lewis will not come out and play him real tough. So if Travis is making the shot. Now what Travis has to concentrate on is a little bit of helping his teammates out on defense.
Now he doesn't have to help. He's got Richard Lewis one-on-one. Shot clock down to 5. Lewis back to Brian Cook. He can shoot the 3. This time takes a fadeaway 2. And Rudy Fernandez leaps in and grabs the rebound. Brandon Roy will check back in next dead ball. A little bit ahead of schedule.
They're playing Sergio very well. Sergio #1 in assists off the bench. So
Travis from that same spot. This time the 3 is off the mark, and Courtney Lee high for the rebound. Now he's going to take Travis down the middle, and foul by Channing Frye, trying to make up ground and help out his teammates.
They know if they let Joel Przybilla get set in the half-court defense, then they have trouble without Dwight Howard in the game. So,
he's back in now.
Yeah, and that's the Blazers can't afford to leave LaMarcus Aldridge out when they have both Cook in the game and Dwight Howard.
Outlaw and Frye out. Aldridge and Roy back in. As Courtney Lee hits the first of 2. Lee had not attempted many free throws coming into the game. These are just his 7th and 8th attempts of the season.
Yeah, he just wouldn't go to the rim, but now the last 5 games they have him where he's much more aggressive. Early in the season you wouldn't have seen him go the length of the court, but he has great quickness and speed, so you have to stay up with him. Now they have to try to take advantage of him checking Roy.
Rudy running that baseline. Now back to Sergio for an open 3. That's short. Rebound inside. Down hard went Lee. And he's all right. As Portland now 1 for 6 from behind the 3-point line tonight. You live by it, you die by it some nights. And so far, not living. Lewis against Roy. Aldridge comes to help and block the shot. Good defense by Roy to hold his ground, and good help side by L.A.
Sure was.
Now Rudy has Brian Cook squared up. Rudy for 3, a little bit short again. Make it 1 for 7. As it was the 3-pointers, really the only thing keeping Portland around in the first half against Toronto. Przybilla erases that Lee attempt after Lee had traveled. Here's Rudy in transition. Sergio back to Roy for 3, and there's the long ball.
Yeah, and that's the first 3-pointer for Roy in December. He was 0 for 7, so nice for him to get off the snide in the 3-point shot.
And he's still 35%, so that's not too bad.
No, it isn't.
3-point game. They go back inside to Howard against Przybilla. Runs down Joel. And a block called as Przybilla evidently not quite there. And he'll pick up his first foul. 8:16 left in the first half. I don't think they'll give Howard free throws. We'll find out when we come back. Magic by 3.
humans versus droids. Jedi versus Sith. Good versus evil.
I will deal with the Jedi myself.
And a few laughs in between. You've just taken your first step into a larger world. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. A new adventure this Friday at 9 p.m. Their galaxy isn't far, far away anymore.
We're clear.
Only on Cartoon Network.
For 7 here in the quarter. Orlando, though, 1 for 5. Blazers not able to make up much ground with Howard on the bench. Of course, now he's back. Well, the steal of the game tonight, the Northwest Ford steal of the game. 2 tickets to the game against Toronto on December 27th, and 2 tickets to the January 7th game against Detroit. So 2 tickets for both games, just $88, $797-$9,600, or visit trailblazers.com right now. The steal of the game brought to you by the Northwest Ford stores. Visit compareford.com, as they did not give free throws to Howard, as Oden back in for Portland.
And you talk about free throws, MB. They are the #1 in free throw attempts. They get about 29 a game.
Aldridge again knocked away an entry pass, and it's a good thing because Howard had position inside, deep position. But that's LaMarcus with those long arms getting deflections.
And that's what you need against this team. Keep the pressure on them. Win it in the fourth quarter.
Brian Cook the hold on Aldridge. That's the foul away from the ball. As Cook didn't play the first time these teams played. In fact, wasn't playing a lot at all early in the season. But now is getting a chance. And against a big team like Portland, you'll see big opponents. Rodriguez. Here's Aldridge from Rudy. Cook on him. Anthony Johnson, the help that leaves Sergio open with 1 to shoot, and he hits the foul line jumper. And that's the shot that Sergio worked on all summer.
They're leaving Sergio. They're filling the middle up. They don't want Aldridge to score in the middle or Oden to rebound. Remember, the Blazers get about 13 offensive rebounds a game.
Howard inside as Rudy knocked it away, and I think Oden's going to get the foul first. And indeed, as 3 team fouls already now on Portland here in the quarter.
And they're already 8 for 10 from the line. The Blazers are only 2 for 3. I wonder when the last time Greg Oden got manhandled in his career.
Brian Cook for 3, and we mentioned a moment ago he can hit him. That's only his 3rd of the season, but we've seen him in past years and know he has good range.
He can shoot it. If your system allows him to go outside, he'll shoot it.
And now Aldridge trying to get position on Cook down low. Now he has it baseline. Shot clock down to 10. Johnson comes over to help. Sergio picks it up. High arcing shot is off, but Aldridge follows it in with 2 hands.
Well, the Blazers now are starting to regain that lead. That's their 4th offensive rebound to 1 for Orlando. That's the strength of the Blazers. Getting to the foul line is a strength for Orlando, and they sure are doing it tonight. They've gone there 10 times.
And Portland out rebounding Orlando overall now by 3. Howard wants to take it at Oden. And there's 3 fouls on Oden. So he's going to have to come out. Joel Prisbilla, who has just 1 foul, will have to come in. But Howard's having to earn them, as you saw the follow there by Aldridge, as Howard comes out of there holding his shoulder.
And you saw Greg Oden on the other side waiting for the rebound. So they had both sides of Sergio's shot covered.
And Howard took a shot there, as you see him even now flexing the shoulder, as Prisbilla and Steve Blake set to come back in for Portland. Been a good run by, as Howard misses. Martell Webster, you might have seen on Sunday if you watched our game at Toronto. He came back in, of course, for the first time this season. In his first shift, he took off on a drive down the middle. Mike Reich, you saw him pull up. And it's been determined that Martell has another injury in that foot. Not the same injury, the stress fracture, but this is more out on the pinky toe up inside the foot. And it's going to be another 4 weeks at least for Webster, we learned tonight.
Yeah, and he said it hurt a lot more than the first injury.
But he didn't act like it was that serious.
No.
As you and I talked to him on the bus, and he said, it's nothing. They took off down the lane and felt some uncomfort. But tough for Martell. Brisbilla in the lane against Howard. Hooks it up and in over Howard.
See, Howard cheats so much to help when Roy cuts through the middle or Blake cuts through. He leaves Brisbilla wide open, so the Blazers finally found him.
First tie of the game. Blazers now in a bit of a zone. Turkoglu to Cook. Shot clock at 6. Cook still with it. Now finds a cutting Lee, and he puts it in. Courtney Lee, we're talking about a good motor in Rudy Fernandez. He's guarding a guy with a good motor.
Yeah, you can't turn your head on Lee. He's a rookie in there that shouldn't be doing damage, and he is, but he's improved his game.
And he denies Roy the ball there, and now Portland into a secondary offense. Fernandez. Turkoglu trying to grab it from behind. Kick ball on Howard. And so Portland will put the shot clock back to 14. And they'll have it on the side after we take a timeout. As Orlando continues to shoot well, 54% with 5:35 left first half.
This February, the biggest basketball event in the world is headed to the city of Phoenix. 2009 NBA All-Star Balloting presented by T-Mobile allows you to vote for your favorite NBA players. Log on to NBA.com and cast your vote. Also vote on your mobile phone at WAP.NBA.com or on your T-Mobile phone via T-Zones. Vote now and vote often, and you could win a trip for 2 to Phoenix in the NBA 2K9 sweepstakes. The 2009 NBA All-Star Game live from Phoenix, Arizona, February 15th, only on TNT.
Now 5 for 11 shooting in the quarter, but still 2 points down to the Orlando Magic as we go down to Rebecca Harlow.
Well, Mike and Mike, assistant coach Maurice Lucas has been sick for most of the summer. He's missed the whole season so far, but the great news is he's in recovery, he's healthy, and he's coming back. I checked in with him this morning.
Yeah, I feel good. You know, there's a couple of ways you can get sick, and there's a couple of ways to die. And one of them is physically, the other one is boredom. And so boredom was killing me here. But no, it's good. You know, I think I'm smart enough and mature enough to know that I've got to take my time and make sure that I'm healthy enough to, you know, travel around with the guys and run up and down the court.
All right, thanks, Rebecca, and it's great to see Maurice Lucas, as we haven't seen him back here at the Garden yet, as Howard is still flexing. This is where it happened. As he tried to go up high, and he pulled something, it looked like almost in the rib cage, as you see him grab there. And he went to the bench and has been receiving assistance from the trainer over there. In that rib cage area, we'll have to wait and see. And we'll see if we'll see him back in the ballgame. Portland has it, trailing by 2, shot clock at 6. Tough shot baseline by Blake, and Turkoglu grabs the rebound.
Yeah, no need to say how much Dwight Howard means to this team. He leads in about 6 stat categories in the NBA. All of them have to do with power.
Portland wasn't able to take advantage the first time Howard went down, and if Jameer Nelson keeps hitting like that, and his teammates, as they're now at 56%, they won't need Howard.
Jameer Nelson can turn the corner, so you try to go behind the pick, and if he makes the shot on the other side of the pick, you're in trouble.
Here's Roy against Lee. Howard just went to the locker room. We'll try and find out. Roy against Lee. Shot clock down to 5. Brandon muscles his way to the middle and again misses a shot inside. Brandon mad at himself. Those are gimmies for Roy, as he's 3 for 8 now. As here's Turkoglu against Rudy. Step back. And that is Hedo Turkoglu. What he does very, very well. He had 35 points the first time these teams met up. Portland still won the game.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot really well so far this season against anybody else. Turkoglu in the past has shot very, very well, but
6 straight points for the Magic after Portland tied the game at 36. Rudy is wearing down Hedo Turkoglu with his running around. Roy off the mark with the 3, and the rebound claimed inside by Lewis. As Brandon does 3 for 9 to start this game, he continues to get all the attention, of course. That's a travel on Lee. As Roy is the key for opposing defenses every night. And you see how they set up in the half court to either take the ball out of Roy's hands or make sure it never gets into his hands. And oftentimes what it does is by the end of the shot clock, he gets the ball in his hands with about 5 to go on the clock many times and has to force a shot.
Sure. And where they fear, I was talking to some of their coaching staff, they said, Roy, we fear in the fourth quarter.
Outlaw back in, obviously. The pass nearly taken away by Rashard Lewis. Now Outlaw going to take him one-on-one. Travis to the inside. Pump fake. Nearly gets the bucket, but will shoot free throws. And that's a nice job by Outlaw, something they've worked on him with. Take it inside and go to the basket instead of always the fadeaway shot. That way you may end up with free throws.
Yeah, he's always off balance. Watch here. See, he's still, now they're fouling him, but he's still going to try to fade away, as you said, MB. That's why he only shoots 39% inside the three-point line. But when he's set, three-pointers, he shoots 50%. So, you know, if you're coaching him, you're saying, hey, if we can get him balanced when he drives and get him up to 50% there, this guy's going to average 18 a game.
And Outlaw makes a pair. The Trailblazers down 4 points. Have been hard to come by for Portland this half. They haven't shot it well, but you got to give Orlando's defense some credit. Here's Turkoglu, this time against Roy. Turkoglu backing down. Now fades foul line, and that's that move where he creates a little space, and he's tough to defend because Turkoglu, you forget, he's 6'10".
Yeah, he's big, and since Jameer Nelson has made a couple of shots, Blake doesn't want to leave him out front to help out.
Rudy at the angle, crossover move, now has Lewis on him. Gets a pick from Aldridge. Spin move by Fernandez, just threw it up short. Down he goes into the standard. The Magic trying to run. Turkoglu's scoop shot is off. Lewis keeps it alive, and finally Aldridge comes down with it. Portland back with numbers. Blake, Rudy for 3, short. Rebound, Outlaw for one hand.
And that
Aldridge,
bring the crowd up.
Aldridge and Outlaw there on that left side. It was Aldridge with the tip. Lewis for 3. That quiets the crowd. Every time Portland's made a run, Orlando has made a big shot, and that's another one as the Magic bench came alive.
Boy, and they are. And we said at the start of the ball game, they live most of their offense three-pointers.
Roy down the middle, nearly gets the bucket. He will shoot free throws. That ball just did spin off. And we have got a timeout on the floor. It was Aldridge with the follow as Rudy right on with the 3, and there is the finish by Aldridge.
Happy to be here. I'm looking forward to playing in Boston, having fun, man. We need to establish who we are. We're learning some things, just very small things. Little small things like that add up, and that's big when you're trying to win a ring here. That's the motivation. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. It's what it is. We got to win, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up. Take it one game at a time. See it like every night I have a responsibility to stay physical, stay aggressive. I can't be as good as I am unless I help the group, the team, every day. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together. Tonight we played great basketball as a good team. You know, we're connected. We kept our composure. We made the sacrifices, and it's helping. It's working. It's working for us. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. You know, it's for us to win, man. Just what we got to do to close this thing out. What's he gonna say now? What can you say now?
All right, guys, more coming up at halftime from Tony and Michael. Just back behind us in the Rose Garden studios. The amazing thing about this game, Mike Rice, is with Dwight Howard in the game, the Blazers have played them dead even, 25-25. With Howard out, Orlando has outscored Portland by 7.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of it has to do with points in the paint. The Blazers are one of the worst in the NBA, I think 5th worst in getting points in the paint. But they've tied Orlando 20-20. So, you know, I think their offense is a little more stagnant with Dwight Howard. He started off the game so explosive, like he did down in Orlando.
Yes.
Same thing. What's killing the Blazers right now? Outside shooting, and of course, they have 8 free throws made to the Blazers 5.
Yeah, Howard had 22 points in the first half of that first meeting on November 10th, and then just had 7 in the second half, and that was the odd thing. Portland went small most of that second half as Presvilla was in foul trouble. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Oden wasn't yet playing following the opening night injury, and the Blazers won it with that small lineup.
Well, Nicholas is back in the ballgame right now.
Outlawed down. Turkoglu, bad pass intended for Howard. Presvilla playing good defense, denying the ball, and Turkoglu mad at himself.
Yeah, that's putting a little pressure on the passer that time, something the Blazers haven't done when they were throwing the ball in early to Dwight Howard.
You get the feeling this is big 2 minutes in this game. Blazers can close the half strong. Blake back to Batum. Nicholas right side around Howard. Drop to Presvilla and he scores. Beautiful move by Batum to create some offense.
Yeah, and to get the big guy to come to him so he could dish it off to the guy that shoots 83%. Not a bad idea.
4 for 4 tonight with 8 points is Presvilla. Nelson out to Turkoglu. They go back into Howard. He goes into Presvilla. There's the missed shot. There's the rebound by Roy. Nate McMillan was hollering for a 3 in the key call on Howard. Roy again tried for Presvilla. Brandon just off a click so far here tonight. We don't say that often. 3 for 9. And a turnover there. Bogan's 3 misses everything. And Blake makes the catch on the other side. McMillan again says run the ball, push the tempo. Blake got a little pick from Presvilla. Under a minute to play here in the first half. 3-point Orlando lead. There's just been one tie. Otherwise, it's been all magic. Blake off balance, too. And he hits that.
Well, he was looking. He looks and looks and looks. He's not a shoot first point guard, that's for sure. But finally, he ran out of time on that shot clock.
Oftentimes, if there's no other option, he says, okay.
Shoot it. And usually, he's on balance when he shoots it.
Nelson against Aldridge. LaMarcus got a piece, and Presvilla picks it up.
They can get a 2 for 1.
Blake for 2. Yes, sir. Blazers have their first lead. It's a 10-3 run. And we just were saying, big 2 minutes in this game if the Blazers can turn momentum, and they have.
They sure have. They got about a second and a half to play with.
It's like a playoff atmosphere every night in Portland with this crowd. Batum to Turkoglu. His runner is home. 6 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Magic by 1. Here comes Blake. Blake takes the bump, puts up the 2, short with that, and that'll do it for the first half. As the Magic shoot 54%. And they are a middle-of-the-pack shooting team in the NBA, but 54%. Trailblazers right at 46%. That's right on their average. As the Magic kicking off a 5-game trip. Of course, the Trailblazers just got done with a 4-1 5-game trip. Tony and Michael coming up next. Numbers in jeopardy tonight. Welcome back courtside. Mike Barrett back with Mike Rice. As we said in the November 10th meeting between these two teams, wow, it looks like Portland's better against Orlando when Dwight Howard plays. And that certainly has played out tonight so far. Has that surprised you?
Well, you know, what it really is, he has not scored against Joel Presvilla tonight. He has scored against Greg Oden, but not.
See how well they've shot.
Yeah, and they've shot 54%. So if you're Nate, you're feeling pretty good at this time. They're shooting 54%, and Turkoglu's having a big game, and their Blazers are only down 1. Free throw shooting, it's getting closer now. It was a much bigger margin than that. Rebounding, they have 1 offensive rebound. The Blazers 5. Turnovers didn't hurt either team in that first half. Assists, both teams have 13. And there's our scores.
Turkoglu 4 for 5. He's the only Magic player in double figures, so obviously balanced scoring. That's what you need in the second game of a back-to-back. Help. Aldridge, Roy, and Outlaw, all with 10 for Portland, as you mentioned. Joel Przybilla, very strong in that first half. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 block shots, 4 for 4 shooting in just 12 minutes. And he is the subject of the Kia halftime highlight.
Yeah, and he should be. Joel has come in there, and as we said, Dwight Howard has not scored against Joel, and then Dwight kind of looked like he pulled a little muscle in his side, and he's back. He was warming up, so he's going to play. But Joel, you can see, just hangs around the basket and does all the things that needs to be done to win a game on both ends. Block shots on one end, and now Greg has to get into that rhythm of what Joel has been doing.
And here is a look at your Northwest Ford store's keys to the game.
And they lead the NBA in block shots. They do not have one tonight as Portland is there. Portland 2 for 10 from the three-point line. They have to improve upon that to win this ball game. And of course, the fans really got into it in the second quarter. I think that really helped the Blazers with the fans kind of pushing the Blazers to better things.
Well, and there was so much momentum Portland's direction as they had just taken their lead late in the first half, and then Orlando came back. As here's Howard. We'll continue to watch this. It was right there, and oddly enough, it was on the left side. You'd think it'd be on the right side, watching the way he stretched, but he grabs the left side of the lower rib cage. And we'll continue to watch and see how he does, as once again, you're watching Comcast Sportsnet in high definition tonight from the Rose Garden, where the Blazers will have some games this month. As Portland, nobody has played fewer home games than the Trailblazers, just 7 so far. This the 8th tonight. But the schedule will start to even out a little by little in the next 3 weeks or so.
Well, it's remarkable. The Blazers did win their 8th road victory January 21st of last year, and they've already got 8 now. So what an amazing story the Blazers are on the road. Now they've got to extend that story to home.
Bogans through the middle. Roy got caught in a pick, so Roy gets 2 at one end, and the man who's guarding him, Bogans, gets 2 at the other. And Orlando back by 1.
Yeah, it's off of the big guy, Dwight Howard, all the time.
And Steve Blake starting to heat up as Blake 6 points now on 3 of 6 shooting as there's a stoppage in play.
Well, they're going behind the pick and roll every time on Blake. And Blakey's looking to pass the ball. Now maybe he's going to open up a little bit to make them force their defense out a little bit.
As if you're Portland, Coach Rice, and we've talked all night about the difficulty in battling the letdown, as Roy blocks the shot from behind, and they call it a jump ball. Good defense by Oden, first of all, to hold his ground, and second of all, by Roy to come over. This is what people have been doing to Greg Oden when he shows ball too early.
Yeah, and the big guy, when he gets into that lane, he's not going to pass the ball to Dwight Howard. So you can dig in and help, and you can leave shooters, because he is going to go and try to get. Now there's 5 on the clock.
Ooh, Roy nearly got that. In fact, Orlando finally gets it. The clock did not start, and Orlando ends up with a 3.
And the clock did not start. Unbelievable. That would have been close to
that clock.
Out.
Boy, about 3. The shot clock went down to about 2, and that's not the case when it's a jump ball. Blake off the mark. Rebound Howard inside. As Turkoglu to Lewis to Nelson for 3, and they rim in another. So you talk about a big swing following the good defensive play by Roy on Howard.
Blazers are not setting the good picks they were the first half.
Aldridge, as a travel is called on Aldridge right at the foul line.
Yeah, the Blazers in the first half, and after the Boston game and before Toronto, in that practice they worked on setting picks. Guards wait for the big guys to set good picks. And you could see in the tape of the Boston game, Blazers hardly picked at all, and that's why Boston was so effective defensively.
Orlando 5 for 9 from behind the three-point line. Here's another one by Turkoglu, and that's good again. 6 for 10, and it's the Magic now moving the ball and getting open shots, as they have taken an 8-point lead again after the Blazers led just moments ago, as we're just minutes into the second half.
Jedi versus Sith. Good versus evil.
I will deal with the Jedi myself.
And a few laughs in between. You've just taken your first step into a larger world. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. A new adventure this Friday at 9 p.m. Their galaxy isn't far, far away anymore.
We're clear.
Only on Cartoon Network.
Sports playing in Boston, having fun. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up, take it one game at a time. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. It's for us to win, man. Just what we got to do to close this thing out. What you gonna say now? What can you say now?
Well, the Magic 4 for 5 here shooting in the quarter. And they're now 6 for 10 from behind that three-point line. We take you back to the steal of the game. 2 tickets for the game against Toronto, and also 2 tickets for the game against Detroit, January 7th, 797-9600, or visit trailblazers.com now. Steal of the game brought to you by the Northwest Ford stores. Visit compareford.com. Down to Rebecca Harlow we go.
On Dwight Howard is that he has a strained left oblique. The trainers don't know if the injury happened last night, in which he had a run-in with Zach Randolph, who got a flagrant 1 foul for the incident, or whether it happened tonight. But apparently Dwight says he's going to do everything in his power to continue to play in this game and just work through the pain, guys.
Well, the Blazers, I think, are paying too much attention to him now. Early in the game, he was very effective. Now, it's the three-pointer that's killing this club, the Blazers, from outside. 6 for 10.
Roy against Bogans. Brandon Roy trying to get started this half. He goes off the glass and down as Dwight Howard came over to try and get his first block. And Roy's shot just too high. It's a 6-point game now as Orlando. A lot of confidence as down goes, and the foul's going to go on Greg Oden as he and Bogans went down. Greg trying to fight over a pick, and that is his 4th foul. And this game is a lot like the first meeting, Mike Rice, down in Orlando in November. In that it was Joel Prisbilla then that got into foul trouble. Portland went small, and there you see the obvious calls. Greg came out with the arm, and Prisbilla up off the Portland bench. But the small lineup for Portland with Howard in there was effective.
Yeah, and of course they have 2 centers now.
Foul's going to go on Blake, as it was pretty good defense by Aldridge and Oden, who came to help. And Howard to the free throw line as Prisbilla will come in for Oden, who has 4. And you saw how Orlando's going to try and get Oden out of the game by going right back to Howard. He's going right back to the rim.
In that game that you were talking about, MB, in Orlando earlier, the Blazers did a little more double teaming in the second half, and they drew Dwight Howard away from the basket. And that's when Channing Frye hit a couple of outside shots. And we had a great three-point shooting game from Travis Outlaw. But now the Blazers are going to go with more defense, trying to slow Howard up. But they still have to concentrate I haven't seen Orlando shoot this well from three-point in the last 6 games.
Howard just 2 for 6 at the free throw line, however. So they've left some points there. Batum as Przybilla in. Bogans playing physical defense on Roy. Brandon faces that every night. Here's Blake. Holding, shot clock at 5. Roy. Bogans gives some contact. Roy to Blake. Shot clock violation. Blazers unaware of the shot clock. That's not normal, but Bogans with some physical defense. And a nice job on Roy that time. And again, Brandon got 27 against this team in that first meeting, and most of those against Bogans, as Petrus started out on Roy, but Roy made him look bad. Long arms of Batum create the steal. Nicholas to Roy, baseline. Brandon hit hard, and down he goes. And up onto his feet, and Bogan says, my fault. Roy says, no problem. Free throw's coming.
Yeah, the great length by Batum in that. He really went after the ball.
And there was a grab there.
And, you know, the last 4 games, he's shooting about 23%. So he's kind of cooled off as an offensive threat. And I think it's affected his defensive game, too. So now Nicholas has to get back. Remember, rookies just aren't used to playing 22 games in 41 nights.
Yeah.
It is just tough.
It's 23 and 43 now, yeah. I think, but yes.
And it's just, I mean, difficult. Even for veterans, the Blazers' schedule has been overwhelming.
And that's where the schedule will start to balance itself out, not only in home to road ratio for Portland, but days off between games, because it has literally been every other day since the start of the season for this team. Nelson for 3. That one rattles out. Rebound by Aldridge inside as Orlando, full of confidence, letting it fly from behind the three-point line.
The Blazers go into a 1-2-2 zone. They don't use that often. They like to sit in a 2-3. Of course, that leaves the corners open, that 1-2-2, and that's where Jameer Nelson got an easy.
Roy over Lewis. He hits again from the outside as Brandon has bounced back nicely following a cold start. He's got 17 points now.
They go back to that zone.
Lewis dared to take the 3, wouldn't initially. Now takes it to Aldridge, needs help. Might have traveled. Here's Nelson. Back to Lewis. They don't get to him. Howard sets a big-time pick on Batum, sends him flying. And the Blazers come out of there with no damage done.
Well, the different look in the zone really has maybe cooled off.
Blocking call on Bogans as Roy so good at drawing fouls while getting to the rim. And Bogan's not happy with it. The up and under and dipping the shoulder down by Roy. Watch it here.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Bogan's not quite in front.
No. He's you have Roy going sideways a little bit more, and he came over and was bumping him all the way.
And Stan Van Gundy, what he's mad about is not the foul, but the fact that it was given free throws to Roy.
Yeah, that basket would have been good. He had his hand up. Roy doesn't look like he's usually he's in sync on the foul line. That time he just kind of bounced it.
And that's the one thing that he wanted to come into the season and get better at, is free throws. And he's 83% on the season, but tonight has just been off the mark. 5 for 8 for Roy tonight. 18.6 rebounds, though, for Brandon.
Yeah, he's opening up a little bit. This zone is helping the Blazers for sure.
Turkoglu puts it on the floor, and a foul going to be on Blake, and that is going to be his 4th. Blake not in agreement with Mark Wunderlich on the call, but free throws again, as this has turned into a slow down, free throw, grind them out battle now. We've seen plenty of those so far this year, and this is very much that way again, as these will be free throw attempts number 15 and 16. Yeah, for the Magic, and Turkoglu, a very good free throw shooter.
Yeah, they shoot 29 a game, so they're not even reached what they shoot. Blazers shoot 22, so it's a 7 difference every night between the two, and that's big in the NBA. Those are free throws, no one guarding you. But they only shoot 70% as a team. That's number 30
out of 30. And Turkoglu rattles in the second. Of course, a lot of that's because of Dwight Howard, and once again tonight he's just 2 for 6. Blazers continue to build on their rebound edge. It's 25-19 now. As I mentioned earlier, Portland the #1 team in the NBA in the statistic total rebound percentage. Aldridge stops short, leaves it short. Sergio, though, grabs the offensive board, and he's fouled by Turkoglu. Well, you take offensive rebounds where you can get them, and this time it's the much smaller Rodriguez coming in from the side to grab the offensive rebound, rip it away from Turkoglu.
Yeah, Turkoglu. I'll tell you what Turkoglu did. He fouled him. They should have called something on him. He grabbed it. Of course, Turkoglu played for Turkey's national team. He knows Sergio from years back.
Roy turns the corner inside. He gets hit. Down he goes. Shot didn't reach the rim, and Brandon talking to Michael Smith on the way up the floor. Lewis in transition for three, hit it. Big turnaround, 5-point swing there potentially, as Roy didn't do a lot of talking to the officials, but he's talking to all of them on this trip.
Yeah, they sag in that middle so well. You go up the middle, there's 4 of them with you.
Foul on Lewis. It's going to be 14 fouls on the Magic, so perhaps now Portland a chance to get some points at the free throw line and continue to be aggressive offensively. Here's the last trip.
Let's see if anybody. Oh, they got him right across the chin. They reached in and just whacked him right in the chin.
Well, the only reason you didn't need necessarily replay is Roy doesn't often miss running one-handers without hitting the rim. Sergio turns the corner. Foul going to be on Nelson. As he and Sergio came together, this is becoming a very physical game.
Yeah, and that's because of all the people that are setting the picks are so huge.
Take a look at this. Good view of it from the baseline. As John Curry's standing in there courageous, holding the shot. As Sergio makes the first. Rodriguez on the season 80% at the free throw line. Been much better in that category this season.
And as we said, he's off the bench. He's #1 in assists. He has 93 on the year, and that's tremendous stat for somebody off the bench. And that's why Bayless can't get playing time, because Sergio is such a great assist man with that second unit.
Nelson. Lewis skip pass. Bogan sets up for the three. Takes it over Roy. This time long. Rebound Aldridge. As Orlando still 7 for 14 from behind the three-point line. And we're halfway through quarter number 3. Sergio, pick and roll with Prisbilla, didn't take it. Batum called for the travel.
Yeah, he did. He moved that pivot foot.
And turnover-wise, that's only number 8 for Portland. He has Orlando with 7. But again, it slows everything you're trying to do and almost gives the momentum you have gained back.
One thing the zone is doing is they're not even looking for Dwight Howard. He has to get offensive rebounds. He hasn't touched the ball in the last 5 possessions. So they just bring the zone out a little higher and check him.
Turkoglu over Prisbilla. Hit it again. Turkoglu now with 17 for the game. As I mentioned earlier, he had 35. The first time these teams played, a game Portland won, is Tony Battine to the table for the Magic. Rashard Lewis trying to stick with Aldridge. LaMarcus pulls his way to the hoop, missed the shot, got the rebound. Nelson rips it away, and he digs it out. Nelson, Turkoglu through the middle, finger roll, no. Batum tipped to Aldridge. Portland back the other way. Roy, the trailer is Aldridge. Batum, Sergio for 3. Got it!
Boy, that is a big shot. That's a 5-point turnaround against Orlando that misses an easy at one end, and they get a 3 at the other. Good rebound by Nicholas.
Turkoglu in the corner. Bogans to get it back, and he does. And Portland will take a 20-second timeout as the Magic continue to answer everything Portland's doing. As we take you back to the Northwest Ford steal of the game again. 2 tickets to 2 games. The December 27th game against Toronto and the January 7th game against Detroit. All for just $88. Nice gift idea as well. 503-797-9600 or visit trailblazers.com. Now the steal of the game brought to you by the Northwest Ford stores. Visit compareford.com. Well, let's take a look at the Sergio Rodriguez 3. And Sergio's first one of the night. He's shooting 37% now from behind that three-point line.
That's tremendous for a guy that couldn't shoot a three-pointer last year. He worked on it all summer. John Townsend, the shooting coach, went over to Spain, worked on it over there, and you can see the results. Anybody that shoots 37, 38% in the NBA from the three-point line is an asset.
Problem was the Blazers gave it right back to Bogans with an open three in front of Portland's bench.
They've made big shots. Every time, as you said, MB, Blazers make a big one, they make a bigger one.
Bogans playing tough defense on Roy. Brandon takes him inside, this time too strong. Roy's so good at getting his own shot whenever necessary. He has 20 points with still 4.5 minutes left in the third. So as much as we're patting Bogans on the back for his good defense, Brandon's having a big game. Nelson kicks it out. Bogans back to Nelson for three. Around and in.
Well, the Blazers on the pick and rolls are still paying a lot of attention to Howard, which is understandable, but they're leaving three-point shooters open.
Roy down the right side missed the shot, but he was fouled once again by Bogans. That's going to be his fourth. But this is now Orlando's largest lead of the game, 9. As the Blazers closed the first half on a nice roll and appeared to get momentum and got the crowd very much in the game, but the Magic calmly here in the third quarter have continued to answer. And Roy continues to miss free throws. This is what Jameer Nelson does. This is what the Magic do. Drive and dish, and one pass and you got an open three.
Yeah, and see, they're the second lowest in assists per game, 17. They already have 16 tonight. So it just shows you normally they're not moving the ball as well. They're looking for Dwight Howard inside, and he'll power it in. You don't get an assist. But tonight, they're not going inside at all, and the Blazers have to go back to man and get out of that zone.
Roy makes again 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Nelson now to Turkoglu. Big size advantage against Sergio.
I don't know what that was.
3:51 left in the third. Ten to shoot. Nelson. Sergio goes under the pick. Now another pick by Battie. Blazers switch, so Rodriguez down low against Battie. Nelson takes the 2 anyway and misses the shot. The better play was down low, and Battie
absolutely
trying to tell him that coming back up the floor.
But Jameer has made a lot of shots, so that's why.
Roy. Fernandez now in the corner. Back to Sergio. Drives the middle. Drops to Aldridge. Scores, and he's fouled as Howard came to help. And it was a beautiful dish to LaMarcus.
And that's all the Blazers. They have to get patient. And Sergio, I don't know what the ref, he came over and told Sergio not to do something. Mark Wunderlich was telling him something that I guess it was Jameer Nelson's talking to Sergio on one end, and Sergio, after the assist, said something to Jameer Nelson. Mark Wunderlich said, "We'll have none of that."
And LaMarcus completes the three-point play. So Aldridge now with 13 points in the game. 8 rebounds as well for Aldridge. He was very big in the win over Toronto on Sunday, especially in the first half.
You got to like the way Sergio goes full court. Never would do that before. He was afraid anybody going around him.
I like the fact that he's talking back a little.
Yeah, sure. First
Howard
time he's
Chris
touched
Bilder.
it.
They double to get the ball out of Howard's hands. Now he has it back. Turkoglu, they leave him open for 3. Blazers get fortunate here that he missed the open 3. Aldridge. Rudy. Back to Aldridge. Long 2 over Howard, who was right in his face. And
now they're moving the ball from one side of the court to the other. They're not letting Orlando gang up in the middle.
Nelson. Still with it. Get the feeling this battle is getting personal. And Nelson scores, and he's fouled. As Jameer Nelson that was one-on-one the whole way, not going to give it up, and he'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
This is some game. The Lakers are mounting a furious comeback.
Here we go, fourth quarter. It's watching the clock. You need a score. He's done it all tonight. Oh, what a move.
Oh, the crowd is chanting, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
He shakes free. He pulls up with the man in his face. Off balance.
Oh, what a shot by Kobe Bryant. 43 points on the night.
See it. Get it. Experience experience it. The game. The NBA season is here. You can get all the action and excitement with NBA League Pass. This is your complete season pass. Order now and get the best games, countless moments, and lasting memories for only $189. See the top stars and your favorite teams wherever you live all season long. And watch games online with NBA League Pass broadband, which is included with your subscription. Get NBA League Pass now for just $189. To order, call now.
Now, Mr. Barkley, you're here to answer for possible violations as an analyst for the NBA on TNT. Now, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes, I'm 1,000%.
Where in the world our fans are wearing their Trailblazers gear when you go on vacation or find yourself in a unique location? Take a picture and send it to us at the 4Fans page on Trailblazers.com. We'll show one winner each game. This is Jason Lang from Lake Oswego with his Blazer hat on.
Where is he?
At Cabo San Lucas, Cabo Wabo.
Man, Cabo. That ain't
just
bad.
like the song says. Well, LaMarcus Aldridge having a quarter for Portland when they need it most, and he and Sergio Rodriguez, as always, working the pick and roll well.
Yeah, and somehow Sergio gets up that gut and brings everybody to him, and it kind of lets guys like LaMarcus Aldridge wide open from the outside. That's why Sergio's still in the game. That and Blake has 4 fouls.
Rebecca Harlow.
Guys, at the half, the coaches told the Blazers to do a better job defending the paint. They've done that. But now in that last timeout, Nate is saying you're ball watching versus paying attention to where Orlando's shooters are on the perimeter. Make sure you don't turn your back on this team. That's why this team is so tough. If you give up one thing, they take the other, guys.
Well, and they're doing to Portland what Portland has done to a lot of teams, spread you out and find the open shooter. Here's one right here. Really short with the three. Well off. Recent rebound picked up by Nelson.
Yeah, they came out of the timeout, and they were definitely going to go to Rudy off of pick. He runs off of picks better than anybody I can remember in the last 10 years in the NBA.
Defense overloaded. Orlando looks for the open man. Turkoglu takes it himself. He has 19 on 7 of 10 shooting. How good has he been?
He is the guy tonight. He's the one that has answered every time the Blazers have made a run.
Aldridge back to Sergio. He's already hit 1-3. Shot clock down to 12. Rodriguez works past Nelson. There's the foul. It's going to be on the pass off, but it doesn't matter because Orlando is in the penalty. Anthony Johnson in, Nelson out because of the Blake foul trouble. It looks like for now Sergio will stay for Portland. Blake has 4 fouls and he's on the Portland bench.
Yeah, now they've really got to concentrate on keeping people from penetrating, especially Lee, who has great quickness. So they've got to keep them inside so the Blazers big guys won't have to help out, and then it kind of compounds everything and leaves 3-point shooters open. And they really have taken advantage of that tonight. 9 for 17. Ooh. Whereas the Blazers are 3 for 11.
The Blazers continue to stretch their advantage in the rebound department. It's now an 11 rebound edge. Courtney Lee. Jumper over Outlaw is home, and Travis right in his face. Tough shot by Lee. What an athlete he is.
Yeah, Travis did a nice job. He got around the pick, made him put it on the ground. Boy, they're just hitting big shot after big shot against the Blazers.
Sergio step through move, hit on the arm. He'll shoot 2 more free throws as Johnson went down. As Orlando, a 32-point quarter going here, and maybe the most amazing thing is Dwight Howard has 1 point in the quarter.
Yeah. Give credit to Joel Przybilla. I don't think Dwight Howard has scored a field goal when Joel has been in the game tonight.
But Portland almost wishes they would leave him in, as the Blazers beat Orlando on November 10th when he had a big game. Turkoglu had a big game. It didn't matter. Portland went small and won the game tonight with Howard not as big of a factor, especially in the second half. Orlando is leading by 6.
Looked like Dwight was more interested in who was in the stands than the game.
Yeah, you got to make plans for later, don't you? Less than a minute left here in the third. Turkoglu for three. That's long. Rebound. Presbilla takes it away from Rudy.
Watch Travis.
Watch Rudy. From Sergio for three. Got it! And look at Rudy turn to the crowd.
Now they need a stop, and they're going to go zone.
Again, how many times have Rudy and Sergio ended third quarters with a bang? They're trying to do it here. Shot clock down to 12. Lewis got Presbilla off his feet. Now shoots from short distance. No. And we got a foul on the other way. Loose ball foul on Petit. Threw down Rudy Fernandez.
Well, Rudy made a great move in the zone to back up. Travis came out too far, and Rudy, after making a big three, makes almost as big a defensive move, helping out underneath and going to the foul line.
We saw them in New York in the third quarter with a hoop, in Washington in the third quarter with a big bucket and foul, and then the big three-pointer a moment ago by Rudy, and now a couple of free throws. By the guy who is now third best, second best in the NBA from the free throw line. No worry about a jinx here.
No, 95%.
46 for 48 this season.
Yeah. Calderone's the only one ahead of him. He hasn't missed this year. 21 for 21.
Orlando knows to win here, you're going to have to play all four quarters. Shot clock at 7. Turkoglu up top. Three-pointer by Lewis off the mark. Rebound Presbilla. 3 seconds. Sergio full court, half court shot that is, off the mark left. And we are through 3. As Rudy Fernandez hog-tied on his way up the court, talking to Michael Smith. And after all that in that third quarter, as Orlando would stretch it back out and the Trailblazers would come back, we got a one-point game heading to the fourth.
This February, the biggest basketball event in the world is headed to the city of Phoenix. 2009 NBA All-Star Balloting presented by T-Mobile allows you to vote for your favorite NBA players. Log on to NBA.com and cast your vote. Also vote on your mobile phone at WAP.NBA.com or on your T-Mobile phone via T-Zones. Vote now and vote often, and you could win a trip for 2 to Phoenix in the NBA 2K9 sweepstakes. The 2009 NBA All-Star Game live from Phoenix, Arizona, February 15th, only on TNT.
Forward to playing in Boston, having fun. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up, take it one game at a time. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. In order for us to win, man, just what we got to do to close this thing out. What's he gonna say now? What can you say now?
Orlando by just 1 as we head to quarter number 4. As Portland shoots 60% in the third, Orlando 52%. As Wells Fargo, official financial partner of the Portland Trailblazers, proud to take its customers to the next stage. Now they take us to the next game. On the road, we head to Salt Lake City tomorrow. And on Thursday night, Trailblazers and Jazz from Energy Solutions Arena. And a late start in that one.
Blazers back in their zone. They're in and out of it. They're trying to mix it up.
Bogan's in the corner. Brandon Roy heads to the table. He'll check in. He's wanted to get a little extra rest. Lewis back to Bogans for 3. Short. And you get the feeling that Orlando has to be thinking we've been hitting big shot after big shot to keep the Trailblazers at bay. Eventually, maybe that well's going to go a little bit dry.
Yeah, and the Blazers have really picked it up.
They lob to Rudy, and he jams! Backdoor, he went. Second time, Sergio's found him. And the Spanish connection, what a difference they've made the last few minutes.
Yeah, and Brandon Roy's getting an all-time rest right now, not in the game.
Sergio over on Lewis. Back to Bogans. Now Courtney Lee. Shot clock at 10. Lewis turns on Sergio. Off with the shot. Boy, 3 Blazers crash for the rebound. It's Aldridge who picks it up. He's got a double-double.
And as we were saying, the Blazers have 22 free throw attempts. They have 5 more now. That wasn't the case early in this game.
Rudy. Baseline, step back 2, long. Chris Billa tip, no. Aldridge offensive rebound.
Blazers average 13 a game, and now they're coming alive. That back-to-back for Orlando starting to show a little bit.
Sergio, an outlaw, 2-man game. Sergio for 3, got it! Right in front of the Magic bench. And the Blazers have their largest lead. It's a 12-0 run. But Stan Van Gundy says no timeout yet.
Yeah, the Blazers are going to stay in the man zone simply because they don't want Howard to power up underneath.
Oh, listen to the crowd.
There's a moving pick.
Lee, Lewis, long 2 baseline, and that snaps the Portland 12-0 run.
Boy, Dwight Howard was having a moving pick on Sergio, and Nate jumped up and said,
"You did too."
Yeah, you can see
Sergio around Johnson. Prisbilla back to Rudy. Blazers have to slow down a little bit, perhaps. Fernandez to Prisbilla inside with the left hand, and he's fouled. And look at Joel find Fernandez and say, "Nice pass." As now Brandon Roy will come in for LaMarcus Aldridge, I believe, to give him a rest. But this is one of those situations where Nate wants to make the move, but you almost don't want to make any changes.
No, yeah. But you've got, remember, they played back-to-back, so you want to keep fresh legs in the game. Make them keep their starter. Jameer Nelson is resting right now as Joel really has improved that foul shooting the last 3 weeks of this first half of the season.
Prisbilla, 11 points, 11 rebounds. He has a double-double. Johnson, step through move, back to Lee. Lewis, step through into Fernandez. Dwight Howard, back to Lewis, and he dunks. Nice find by Howard.
Yeah, and that was Travis. Travis had to leave his man. They were in the lane. Travis was still. They weren't going to pass to that corner. He's got to get active to help the Blazers on the defensive end. Block a shot. Do something.
Hedo Turkoglu back to the table for the Magic. He'll check in next dead ball. Sergio Rodriguez. He's been getting extended minutes tonight because of Blake's foul trouble. Defensive 3-second technical is called on Courtney Lee. Take a look at the Rudy pass a second ago. You heard the crowd ooh and ah right between Dwight Howard's legs. Prisbilla scored and he was fouled.
And he has made that in almost every game occurrence, going through somebody's legs, and he went through Dwight Howard.
Yeah, you may not want to pull on Superman's cape, but you can pass the ball between his legs a little bit.
Right.
His Portland has 12,
wasn't that long.
12 on the shot clock. Sergio and Outlaw play a 2-man game.
They're not setting a good pick. That's why he's not getting loose.
Outlaw against Lewis. Shot clock at 1. Wasn't aware. Shot clock violation. We go the other way.
Travis has to be more aware of what's going on both ends. The help defense when they throw it inside the middle, and also the shot clock on the other end.
We got a timeout on the floor, but Rudy Fernandez and Sergio Rodriguez tonight doing the job. Trailblazers having trouble shaking this Orlando team.
Clones versus droids. Jedi versus Sith. Good versus evil.
I will deal with the Jedi myself.
And a few laughs in between. You've just taken your first step into a larger world. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. A new adventure this Friday at 9 p.m. Their galaxy isn't far, far away anymore.
We're clear.
Only on...
And back here in Portland, Trailblazers a 4-point lead over the Magic, but a lot of time left here in this fourth quarter. Back to the Affleck trivia question tonight. What Trailblazer lists former Blazer Scottie Pippen as his favorite NBA player? Mike Rice, any idea?
Nicholas.
Yes.
Is it?
Nicholas Batum.
He plays like him. So.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
That's we've talked about Batum, a little Tayshaun Prince-like at times. Here's the pass again. Watch the reaction here. And you saw Prisbilla when he made this bucket. Joel with the rare show of emotion. Joel will show some emotion, but not usually the pump of the fist. But you could tell that pass was a little something extra special.
Yeah. And Joel finished off the three-pointer by making the foul shot.
Bogans, Orlando has continued to knock down big shots to stop Portland rallies and runs. Lewis stepped through on Sergio. Prisbilla there to affect it. Howard the rebound, and a good foul by Rudy Fernandez. Send Howard back to the free throw line where he's just 2 for 6.
Oh, absolutely. And we said earlier that he shoots more foul shots than anybody. He's about 40 ahead of Dwayne Wade, who's in second place. But he doesn't make more foul shots simply because he doesn't shoot the percentage. So the Clackers have to get alive in that end zone.
Well, this time it looks very nice with the stroke as Jameer Nelson in and Anthony Johnson out. Jameer Nelson's been tough tonight for Portland to contend with. He has 15 points, 4 assists, also 4 rebounds.
Yeah, and he's had a nice rest now. That's the key. They took him out and didn't lose anything by doing it. They'll only be 2 down now as Dwight Howard hit 2 big foul shots.
As the Blazers going to stay with his bench unit for a while. Portland has 4 bench players in double figures in scoring. That doesn't happen every day. Rudy holding. Prisbilla gives him a big pick, and Fernandez tripped, and down he goes. He was hit in the face by Turkle. And Fernandez just now getting to his feet. As LaMarcus Aldridge in, and Joel Prisbilla will check out to a nice hand as always. 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 block shots for Prisbilla tonight. As Greg Oden picked up early fouls, both early in the ballgame and early in the second half, and went down to the bench.
Yeah, he just seemed a little nervous playing against Dwight Howard.
But now Howard is in there with as the Blazers small. This was the case in the first game in Orlando.
They got to get
small, weren't hurt.
Yeah, they got to get LaMarcus trying to get outside.
Rudy inside, kicks it out to an open Aldridge. Unbelievable. The entire Orlando defense went with Rudy, and he knew Aldridge was alone on the backside.
Now, if they can get a stop here, that basket will really become big.
Turkoglu down the middle, shot off the mark. There was Howard with the follow.
Once again, Nate is yelling at the weak side people. They threw it up just so he could get it off the backboard, and Travis didn't get in there. You've got to foul the big guy on that move.
Roy has been quiet. Aldridge, top of the key jumper. That's good.
That's what they need to do. Bring Dwight Howard outside. He doesn't want to come outside.
Aldridge 9 for 14, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 19 points. Turkoglu throws it up and off. Rebound picked up by Howard, and he's fouled. Blazers couldn't get that loose ball. They wanted to take off up the floor. It was not secured. Howard able to pick it up, and now he'll shoot two.
Roy and LaMarcus just looked at each other. Each was waiting for the other one to get the ball.
Here's the pass by Fernandez a moment ago. Look at 3 Orlando players there, and nobody with Aldridge on the backside. I don't know how Fernandez could even see Aldridge with the Orlando defenders in the air around him.
You know, you don't see it, you feel it. And that's what the difference between Rudy and Travis. One feels the game, the other doesn't. And that's what Travis is working on. He's got to feel what's going on in the game like a guy like Rudy does.
Blazers at the box out now because Howard likely to miss and does, and Outlaw does and grabs the rebound. 4-point Portland lead, 7 minutes to go.
Well, Dwight Howard taketh and then leaveth. Foul shots.
Roy back to Aldridge again from the outside. He's got it in a groove right now. 21 and 11 for Aldridge. And boy, the Blazers were able to build this record this season with Aldridge not playing his best basketball. Last 2 games he is.
Yeah, and the Blazers taking advantage of the big guy in there.
This is Portland's largest lead. This is, however, when Orlando has struck back.
You got to switch all of those.
Turkoglu not able to take the 3. Bogans, he was defended well. Rebound loose. Roy grabs it.
Roy will look it like a surgeon. He won't hurry it. He knows that they haven't played good defense lately.
Sergio takes Howard underneath. Rudy skip past Roy. Brandon back to LaMarcus again.
Oh, they know who's hot. Get those asbestos gloves on.
Timeout Orlando. 6:06 left. The sellout crowd is on its feet. You're not supposed to play well at the first home game following a long road trip. Trailblazers having to gut this one out, but now an 8-point lead.
Mr. Barkley, you're here to answer for possible violations as an analyst for the NBA on TNT. Now, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes, I'm 1,000% innocent.
Well, is that so? Upon being asked about the team defense of my beloved Dallas Mavericks, did you not say, and I quote, "My mother could score 30 points on those guys"?
No, I said my grandmother could score 30. My mother would drop 45 on them.
There'll be order. We'll have order here.
The NBA season is here. You can get all the action and excitement with NBA League Pass. This is your complete season pass. Order now and get the best games, countless moments, and lasting memories for only $189. See the top stars and your favorite teams wherever you live all season long. And watch games online with NBA League Pass broadband, which is included with your subscription. Get NBA League Pass now for just $189. To order, call now.
This is some game. The Lakers are mounting a furious comeback.
Here we go, 4th quarter. It's watching the clock. You need a score. He's done it all tonight. Oh, what a move.
Oh, the crowd is chanting, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
He shakes free. He pulls up with the man in his face. Off balance.
Oh, what a shot by Kobe Bryant. 43 points on the night.
See it. Get it. Experience it. The game happens here.
8 straight LaMarcus Aldridge points for Portland. They're 7 for 9 in the quarter, and the lead now is 8. Fans join Brandon Roy, the Trailblazers, and the Metro Toyota dealers, and make a wish this holiday season to help grant a child's wish. You can help by donating at trailblazers.com or by texting BROY to 90999. Thanks for your support. Mike Rice, LaMarcus Aldridge has taken over this game.
Yeah, he sure has. Playing with the second unit because the Spanish connection has 11 assists between the two of them. And LaMarcus Aldridge is the guy that's the benefactor of a lot of those passes. Brandon Roy knows he's hot. See Brandon looking for him, going up the middle. Wasn't even thinking of anything but getting LaMarcus Aldridge to that ball. Blazers playing smart, poised, plays basketball.
And if you're Orlando, you're saying to yourself, I'm shooting 51%. We're 45% from behind the three-point line. Our scores are scoring, and we're down 8.
Yeah.
But they have been hitting big shots all night to give them credit, and this thing is far from over.
Yeah, and the crowd is into it now.
Turkoglu. Lewis, Roy out to defend the three. Boy, has Portland been better at that here in the quarter. Although here's Turkoglu for an open three. It's long. Howard, the loose ball foul as he threw down Rudy Fernandez.
Yeah, there's a small team, and a guy like Rudy Fernandez, all 170 pounds of him, has to get his body in there and box out, and he is.
First foul on Dwight Howard.
No Prisbilla, no Oden in the ball game, so the Blazer guards have to rebound.
But that's how Portland beat this team in Orlando. The Blazers have killed Orlando on the boards tonight. Roy back to Aldridge. LaMarcus nearly lost it. Now gets it and almost threw it away. Shot clock though at 8. A scattered possession so far for Portland.
Yeah, Rudy was supposed to come back and get a pick from LaMarcus on that, and he went out the other side, so it kind of left the Blazers not quite sure of what to do.
Sergio around the corner. Down the middle. Finger rolls. No, we expected contact. There wasn't. Howard the rebound.
Oh, that was big right there.
Lewis for 3. Down. Big turnaround. Again, we always say 5-point swing following something like that. The missed lay-in and the 3. New life for the Magic because you get the feeling they were against the ropes.
Yeah,
Roy around the rookie Lee. With the left hand, yes.
And now Mr. Fourth Quarter takes over.
Nate McMillan saying get back on defense. Three-point shooters are open.
And find Rashard Lewis.
Turkoglu right around Outlaw. Foul. As Travis conscientious to get out and defend the 3, and Turkoglu knew it. Put it on the floor. Here's Roy last trip taking the body to Lee.
Yeah, see, and that time they didn't have as much help because they were out on Rudy, out on Sergio. So Roy took it, knew what to do, took it to the rim.
Well, Sergio out. What a ball game by Sergio. 14 points, 7 assists tonight.
Oh, amazing.
In 22 minutes.
Turkoglu, an excellent free throw shooter.
And no turnovers for Sergio.
Sergio is...
7 assists, no turnovers, 14 points.
That bench has really come alive. Now, they got to get on that board and bring Howard once again out from underneath the basket.
5-point game. Blazers cannot shut it off too early here. Orlando's not going to. They played last night in L.A., of course.
Not when they have Rashard Lewis, #1 in three-point attempts for forwards in the NBA.
Roy crossover, got a pick, going to challenge Lewis. Left hand, no. Got it back, though. And now trying to dribble out of it, and he's fouled by Nelson. What an effort to get his own miss. As Roy mad at himself, a shot he normally puts down. He didn't quit on the play.
No, and second chance points. Brandon Roy is, look at this. He's way out of position, and he just finds a way to get back in there. And he's #4 for guards and points in the paint. So he does a little of everything. Gets to the foul line. Second chance points. Points in the paint. They
Roy,
need it now.
Crossover through the middle. Off balance shot. Nearly went, but he didn't shoot free throws. Foul's going to be on Jameer Nelson again, I believe, or Lee. No, it's on Courtney Lee. And Keith Bogan's back in. He's played the best defense tonight on Roy, and that's why he's coming back in, because they know this is Brandon Roy time for Portland late in the fourth quarter. Well, he'll control the ball. Brandon struggled at line tonight. That's the first one down.
He has missed the only foul shots the Blazers have missed tonight. And he knows that, and he's going to make up for it right here.
That's a good stat. Yeah. Wild one.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I had to go look at the screen and that you paid attention to things.
Especially foul shooting down the end. I know who I want on that line.
Oh. This is the second. Oh. That would have made it a 3-possession game.
Yes,
It's too early to start thinking that way yet. Nelson to Lewis against Blake, who's back in. Lewis takes him inside, scores, and he's fouled. And that's 5 fouls on Blake, so as soon as he comes back in, picks up another one of those games. 21 minutes is all for Blake tonight.
Well, Rashard Lewis putting it with his 6'10" frame against Blake. I didn't see a foul there. I really didn't see a foul there. Sergio going right back in.
You need Blake in there in a situation where you need free throws, obviously, because he's one of the best. But this all of a sudden now a 3-point game again. Orlando will not go away.
They sure weren't. They have weapons. That's why they're 16-5. Third best record in the East.
High pick and roll, Aldridge and Roy. Brandon against Bogans, over Bogans, hits.
Boy, big. Bogans backing up, protecting the rim. And Roy did the right thing.
Nelson turns the corner, takes the body from Aldridge, and missed the shot.
Roy wants the basketball. They put Blake in one corner, Rudy in the other.
Crosses over on Bogans. Outlaw for three. Got it. No, foul.
No, there was a whistle. Oh. The crowd made enough noise, no one could hear the whistle. Ooh.
So it'll be free throws instead for Roy on the drive. We certainly didn't hear it.
No.
As Blake out, as Howard bumped him on the drive, and Orlando will take a 20-second timeout. Now these free throws become huge. Roy has already missed 5 tonight, but he's got 26 points on 9 of 17 shooting from the field. Here's the high pick and roll.
Yeah, and look at Bogans backing up on his heels, As soon as he got on his heels, that's when you stop and take the quick jumper.
And then on the next trip, he pulled the crossover on Bogans and froze him. Howard came to help. That's where the foul was.
Now,
an Outlaw stepped back and buried the 3 behind the 3-point line.
That would have been so
his
big.
Favorite spot.
Yeah, and now Nate has to decide, do I want to stay with offense or do I want to go defense? And since there's still 3:30 left, as we see a beautiful crossover that leads to a nice pass, look at that. He just froze him.
Right by him. And Howard came to defend, otherwise Roy would have had a layup. And there was the 3, which would have been enormous, obviously. But now Roy to the free throw line.
Yeah, and they're staying with the offensive team. Now, if they get about a 6-7 point lead, they can go bigger and go defense. Santa Claus came early on that. Just that was off to the right.
Well, that's the odd thing. Roy has 27 points tonight and 8 rebounds, but you get the feeling he's been fighting it a little bit tonight. Yeah, every shot has been a little bit off.
Yeah, and his layups have been in the first half.
Missed a lot of shots he normally puts down. 7-point lead. 28 for Roy.
Still that zone, the matchup zone now.
Turkoglu kicks it out. Nelson for 3. Good. Big shot, Jameer Nelson. They continue to stay alive. They're on life support, but they've hit those big shots.
With their ability to shoot 3-pointers.
Roy back to Rudy. It's been all Brandon Roy. We'll see if Rudy can help out here. No, I'll give it back to Roy. Shot clock at 8. Turkoglu on it.
Rudy wanted to go one-on-one.
Roy, top of the key. Got it over Turkoglu. He's got 30. That's a new season high.
And it hasn't been a great offensive game.
Nelson, they're going to keep throwing up 3-pointers. Turkoglu defended by Outlaw. Now, travel by Howard inside, but the Blazers got the ball back.
That is the first time that Howard's touched the ball in the last 7 possessions.
Outlaw blocked.
Yeah, I think Travis did a nice job of getting a hand on it. That's what I'm talking about by helping out.
Here's Roy again. Nelson on him this time. Brandon lost the dribble. Aldridge from the corner. Got it!
Man.
Orlando will call time. 2:15 left. Roy and Aldridge tonight. Brandon with 30, LaMarcus with 25. They're not dead yet.
What's playing in Boston, having fun. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up, take it one game at a time. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. It's for us to win, man. Just what we got to do to close this thing out. What's he gonna say now? What can you say now?
This This is some game. The Lakers are mounting a furious comeback.
Here we go, fourth quarter. It's watching the clock. You need a score. He's done it all tonight. Oh, what a move.
Oh, the crowd is chanting, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
He shakes free. He pulls up with the man in his face. Off balance.
Oh, what a shot by Kobe Bryant. 43 points on the night.
See it. Get it. Experience it. The game happens here.
Forward to playing in Boston, having fun. We all are energetic about trying to be the best team we can be. We're not a flawless team. We're a team in progress. We have to come out here and play together, and we didn't do it tonight. You have to continue to keep your head up, take it one game at a time. And if we can get through this, then it's one more step toward the goal. Win the NBA championship. In order for us to win, man, just what we got to do to close this thing out. What's he gonna say now? What can you say now?
All right, guys, and even more than that, Mike Rice, the Trailblazers now shooting 55% for the game. They are 20 for 30 shooting in the second half. 11 for 15 in the quarter.
And 4 double-digit scores off the bench for the Blazers. So it has been a community affair.
But they can stick the threes. Lewis back to Turkoglu. 2 minutes left. Turkoglu, jab step on Aldridge. Nelson just hit a big one moments ago. Here's another. Got it again.
Jameer Nelson. They said he has improved his shooting.
I believe 21 now.
Yeah,
he's 4 for 6 from behind the three-point line.
They're not even looking for Dwight Howard.
What a game this has been. Roy against Bogans behind the back. Outlaw 3 to get it back. Well off the mark. Rebound Lewis.
Well, that's the opening they need with 1:30 left.
Lewis right down the middle. Excuse me, Nelson down the middle. Missed the shot and a foul. Off of Howard. Portland ball. And Nelson kind of tried to do it by himself that trip.
Yeah.
And the Blazers get it back. You love the grit of Jameer Nelson, however.
And it should have been a foul on Dwight Howard. He went over the back of the Blazer 3 guards that are in the game. Now Blakey comes in with fresh legs. If they leave him in the corner and help out on Roy, Blakey will make a big one.
Blazers double. Rudy. Fernandez. Blake for 3. No. Long. Rebound tipped. No Orlando players there. Outlaw runs down Lewis, and now the Magic in transition.
Watch Bogans in the corner. He can shoot the
trailing it only by 5. Turkoglu. Blocked by Roy. And Portland gets it back. Under a minute. Blazers want to take a timeout, talk things over. But the defense, the stops when they need stops. And the Trailblazers have been hitting the big shots. Now they're going to have to hit free throws. Hedo Turkoglu talking to Michael Smith. Here's the block by Roy. Beautiful.
Clones versus droids. Jedi versus Sith. Good versus evil.
I will deal with the Jedi myself.
And a few laughs in between. You've just taken your first step into a larger world. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. A new adventure this Friday at 9 p.m. Their galaxy isn't far, far away anymore.
We're clear.
Only on Cartoon Network.
WAP.
Each other as far as the big shots in this game. Here's Roy a moment ago to Aldridge. Granted, Roy in this ball game, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And he's missed 5 free throws.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd have a new career high.
That's right. And he only gets them when you need them. And the Blazers have needed them in this fourth quarter when this young man once again took over. Boy, they're having trouble getting it in.
Blake can't get it, has to call the timeout. That will be Portland's final full timeout. No, 20-second timeout called by Portland. In fact, they're out of timeouts now. So that is it.
They've got to go to the backcourt now. They held Roy, and they're not going to call that. I mean, the Blazers are up 5 with 50 seconds left, so they've got to go all the way back just to get the ball. They can't worry about, getting a shot within a certain time limit, and the Blazers have no timeouts left. Boy, you want to save a timeout in case you get caught in a double team or a trap or taking the ball out of bounds against the press. NBA, you never want to run out of timeouts.
Yeah, with the way that Orlando has shot the three-pointer tonight, 11 for 23, this 5-point lead doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, but I think Blake did the right thing. They held Roy, and he couldn't get. You had to call a timeout. See, they're going to the backcourt. Play it safe. Don't try to score off that.
Roy to Rudy. They spread it. Portland's going to have to shoot, however. Blake in trouble, trying to dribble out of it. Knocked it away. They turn it over. Lewis with it. Nelson. Wide open is Bogans for 3. Short on it. Gets back his own miss. Lewis for 3, fading away. Got it. 2-point game. Portland doesn't have a timeout. They look at the bench, and the bench says you got to play on.
Yeah, there'll be 4 seconds, shot clock and game clock.
Roy to Blake. They're doubling Brandon wherever he is. Aldridge back to Outlaw, back to Roy. Now they'll clear it. Although there's a double team. Brandon in the corner. Wild 3, short, the ball loose. Aldridge scores and he's fouled. No, shot clock violation, they say. .3 seconds left, and Orlando calls time. As LaMarcus was knocked down, he comes up hobbling. The ball never did hit the rim. No, I don't think it did. And you couldn't tell. If it didn't hit the rim, it was a shot clock violation because
they got to check it out.
There's only 1 second there, and the shot clock is expired. So that's a good call. But a good hustle by Aldridge to get around and grab that ball and put it in. It looked for a moment like he had got the bucket and the foul.
Now they've got some, and they did the right thing. They double teamed Roy to get the ball out of his hands. No,
the refs are. .3. They're trying to figure out the clock issues. They're not reviewing the play.
No.
Now,
they'll go for the win right here. Instead of throwing it into Dwight Howard, who can't shoot foul shots, the Blazers foul him. They'll go with Lewis or Turkoglu shooting the 3. So they're going to try to set a pick for a 3-point shot. They won't go for the quick 2 to tie the game. I think they're going to go for the 3 to win the game.
They are 13 for 26 from behind the 3-point line.
See, if you had a great foul shooter underneath, you could go inside to Dwight Howard, but they don't.
Blazers don't have a foul to give. They don't have a timeout either. There's just 5 seconds left. Turkoglu got to get it in. Did to Howard. Turkoglu against Outlaw for the win. .3 left. Blazers don't have a timeout left. Turkoglu banked it in. Blazers should have more time on the clock than they have. And Orlando wins at the Rose Garden. The Blazers' undefeated record at home is snapped. And the crowd giving it to the officials, but the call, as we showed you, was correct. And Orlando ends it on a 9-0 run, as really for the first time in as long as we can remember, the Trailblazers failed to execute down the stretch, Mike Rice, and so many times they have gotten the big shots when they needed them, and the free throws and the breaks late in the game.
Yeah, they did everything right up to the last minute, and then sometimes that'll happen. That was a freak. He banked it in from way out.
Blazers led 108-100 and had this game won. But the Magic came back and behind a three-point shot rallied and become just the second Eastern Conference team to beat Portland this season.